What's going on?
What is going on?
What's the matter, Mitch? We're about to start a podcast, and you're going, oh.
I just don't know what to do every time. It's terrifying being on air.
Or this for you guys. Because we hanging out in Atlanta, and you guys were like the flannel twins.
I was thinking about putting one on for you.
Were you? I busted out my flannel.
A little warm.
Yeah, I wasn't. It's too hot in this booth to be wearing a flannel. But hey, folks, welcome to the show, the Mitch and Mike's voiceover journey show. And today, the third voice you're hearing is Mr. Paul Vinger. Paul has been bugging us to be on the show for a year and a half now. He's wanted. I mean, he's expressed interest, and we finally got to align schedules and.
We hung
out
Mike
at VOA a little bit, and
I
don't know what the heck happened. It's just I suddenly lost connection. So
so man, I was like bugging you guys, like, let me on the show. When is my turn coming up? Come on, guys.
Yeah, what a whiner that Paul. Oh,
I know.
He's here.
Golly.
Yeah.
Come on, guys. Please.
It's more like we've known Paul probably our entire journeys. At least my entire journey, I've known Paul Vinger to be in many of my classes. I don't know how you get more classes than anybody else through GVAA. I don't know whose bum you got to kiss. Or we just like the same teachers.
Yeah.
Or the second. But
I remember early on when I first started with GVAA, I think you and I connected. We were in a couple of workouts, but I think you tend to do them during the day. I tended to do them do them at night, and so we kind of stopped linking. But always stayed in touch, and got to see you and meet you in person at VOA, and that was really cool. And we said, let's do this thing.
that was great. Yeah, and like Mitch said, I've been working out with Mitch since you joined up GVAA, and man, you're just always like, I'm a little older than you, so you kind of felt like you were like my younger brother in a way, man. And so there was a whole period of time where anytime I needed to talk to somebody who was just a little bit younger than me, but like on the same like peer, but just a little younger, like you were the person I'd talk to in my script. So
wow,
I want to make
nice to know. Yeah, that's kind of cool.
yeah.
I'm glad I
You're
can
the
bring
one
that out.
Paul likes to talk to when he's auditioning.
Yeah,
talk
that's
to my bro.
interesting.
That's gonna be Mitch.
I'm that bro. I mean, yeah, that makes sense. Everyone should do that, I think, to get better, really. Yeah. So go out,
for
Mike.
sure. I'm gonna start talking
time.
to Mitch as my bro.
Yeah,
and that might make me better.
Paul seems to be. Before we get into his backstory, I'm going to tell more backstory about what I know about Paul already. Watching him act, he seems to be better at everything that I'm not good at.
No.
Like he can do the stuff I'm good at, but he's also better at some of the more like he can make dry stuff sound interesting, and he has a lot of tech knowledge. It's like all that stuff I find kind of boring. He just can do. So kudos to you there.
Oh, thanks, man. Somebody said that the other day, like, this script is so dry or it's so boring, and there was some part of me that like kind of early on was like, you know what, there's no such thing as a dry script, and I'm sure there can be plenty of people like, I got one for you.
Yeah,
there are a lot of poorly written scripts.
Yes,
whether they're dry or not.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but, I mean, they're like, so I've studied a lot of medical narration with Debbie Irwin. Look her up, work with her, she's amazing. And even the scripts that seem dry, like there's a reason behind them, right? Somebody is trying to communicate something to somebody for a reason, and it's pretty important. And so if you can cue into that, and then you do your other voice acting and acting work to, figure out the story and why it's important and who you are and who you're talking to, it kind of makes anything can be interesting,
That's what I'm saying. Kudos to you. You're digging much deeper than I am into some of this stuff. Like, I don't know. Maybe I'm so shallow. I'm like, if I can't feel it right away, me and this script are not going out, dude. She is not cute enough for me. You're like, actually, this script has a really nice personality once you get to know her. Like, nah, I don't know about all that.
Oh, sorry. Can I curse on your podcast?
Please.
Can you curse?
You must.
It's Mitch's love language.
Yeah. It's a rite of
Yeah,
passage.
believe that, man. You've got a lot of depth, man, and I already picked up on that pretty early. Like you've got the Mitch thing, like the hey buddy, thing. You guys, you wear the flannel shirts, but you guys both have depth, and that just it's very obvious to me, and I really appreciate it.
Yeah, and yeah, I mean, just to jump on that, I mean, I've seen you work for a couple of years now, Mitch, and I have a lot of confidence in your ability. Yeah, I mean, yeah, you are that quirky dude, and you kind of make, you make your eggs on that. But you can still get. I mean, we have fun with the animation stuff where we're just being goofy. But I feel like too, I've heard you do some of those downplayed reads, and you do them better than I think you do.
Thanks, you guys.
Yeah.
That means a lot. Dang. And I got that recorded. Everybody's going to see that.
Can play that back.
That's gonna be
I do want to play that back. Yeah. I do want to play
Everybody building Mitch up.
Yeah.
Let me find that and cut that up.
Come to
Put
me.
it out on the
But
socials.
we're here for Paul, not for me.
Yeah, we are.
Oh,
Okay.
come on. I want my own podcast, and I want to have my wife as the guest. So if stuff like that slips out, I'm going to have that stuff recorded.
Well, just walk around with your phone and just record every conversation, and then that'll happen.
She's too wily for that.
Well,
Oh, really?
hide the cameras in the house. That'll go over well.
Mike, please get us to where we're supposed to be. I need
Marriage
to learn more
advice by
about
Mike
Paul.
Bellier.
Yeah.
All right, let's get
Hide the
where we want to
cameras.
be. The banter is done. Let's get to the VO stuff. So, Paul Vinger,
Yes, sir.
You're somewhere between me and Mitch, I think, age wise, so but you've been doing this for a decent period of time. When did you start voiceover?
Oh God, man. So I started voiceover around I think beginning of 2021. That sort
Okay.
of that little kernel came to me because I had been an actor in New York. Like that was like my thing. I was doing that for a really long time, and
Like stage actor, screen actor?
it started in stage, did some film. Like I did a lot of big roles and stuff you'll never hear of, and a lot of little roles and maybe stuff where you might see a little bit of me, in bigger stuff. I got in the union and did a lot of New York theater.
Wow.
And then
Are you a singer of songs, Paul?
a singer, a sort of a singer. I can sing a little bit. I can sort of carry a tune. If I have to.
If you have to.
Yeah, man. Like singing and me have been weird. Like I never thought I could sing, and then it's been like a roller coaster for me with singing. Like when I was in New York and acting, and I was like, I should sing. So I found this woman. She was an opera singer, and I would go to her apartment on the Upper West Side, 68th off of Broadway, and I'd go into her little apartment, and she was this enormous woman, and she had this big personality, and we would sing opera. And then I would go home. This is when I still was commuting to Jersey before I moved in the city. And I'd go home, and I had my little electric piano, and I would sing opera at the top of my lungs, and it was awesome. I loved it.
Whoa.
Yeah. And then
You didn't know you could sing, and then you just jumped right into opera.
yeah, yeah.
That's the way I'd do it. Sure.
And then I actually auditioned for a touring theater company. It was musicals, and they booked me to go sing musicals on tour, like for God knows how long.
Holy crap.
But then I also booked a Shakespeare show, and I was like, oh, I guess I'll stay in New York. So I did the Shakespeare show, and then like the singing sort of dropped off, and it didn't start up again really until COVID. And a buddy of mine who was a professional singer started a singing group in COVID, and he invited me to. I went to support him, to support his thing, and all of these like lounge singers from Chicago, actually Chicago and New York were in it, and they were singing. They'd sing songs. Had a pianist who would come and accompany. I'm just like starting talking. Is that
Do it.
okay?
This is
Hey,
it.
you're doing
You're
well
on the
when
wave.
Mitch and I aren't saying a lot.
Because I just looked at you guys like, All right.
No, we're listening
we're in.
intently because this is a very interesting story.
Oh, okay, cool. So Ron Ruffin, what a cool guy. He was a great friend of mine. I got to reach out to him.
Say hi from us.
Hold on, sorry. Thanks for checking in, by the way. So, some people in the world, our guests are pretty great at having this back and forth, but some people in the world don't check in. And I can tell now who you are by checking in to see if
You
we're
really, truly
if we're
care.
still here. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, I mean, like I started yapping and I just wanted to make sure.
Yap, dude. This is a Paul Vinger show today.
Yeah, man. So your friend that you need to check in with.
Oh yeah, so Ron started this group, and I went to support him as a friend, and all these people were like professional singers, lounge singers, and some amateurs, but they were good. And eventually they were like, "When are you going to start singing with us?" I was like, oh. So I started singing with them.
Me.
Like, I started singing with them, and I wasn't like I couldn't sing like lounge songs, like that wasn't my thing. I could sing opera, and I just really liked it, and it became my lifeline during COVID. And just when I started getting really good, everybody went back out into the real world, and the group stopped. So so I think I could sing with a little bit of practice, but if like you told me to sing something now, it probably will suck because,
Well, you got to tune up the instrument, right?
Got to tune up the instrument. Yeah.
And I imagine what's kind of wild is when you're like, I think I can sing. I'm going to go audition for a singing part. You don't have all these expectations about what it's supposed to be or whether you have to be right on tonally perfect. Just like any good audition, there's got to be a bit of you in there. I think it was that carefreeness, maybe, that keeps it going.
Personal experience right now?
Just some, you ever have an audition where you're like, that was kind of weird, whatever, never going to think about that again.
Yeah.
And then you land the job.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. And I've had stuff land on my lap out of nowhere, actually.
Yeah.
And then I've had that you do, and you're like, that felt good, and then you get that one, and those are the ones that are the coolest.
That's the
best.
Best.
It's cool to have somebody like go like, hey, I saw you at the the Chamber of Commerce meeting, and we need a new voice for this thing, and guess what? You're a new voice, and I was like, oh, that's pretty cool. But when you put the work in, and you just feel the piece, you really feel it, and then it comes out of you. And then they like it, and it means something to them too. That to me is the most rewarding part.
I have to agree. I don't think I don't know if my stars have quite aligned that way. Just normally my throwaways that. Yeah, I work pretty hard on some. I'm like, daggum, that here comes. Here it comes. I'll tell Nicole like I'm getting a call on Monday. But we haven't made it to VO yet. I mean, we really have. The band's over, and now you need to find a new thing. Do you just type, like, how I become voice actor from home?
No, man. So, I mean, all the way back when we were living in... So, I was in New York for a really long time.
Yeah.
Which and now you are in...
I'm north of Chicago.
Okay.
But in between, we're in the Bay Area. Because when you stop working and then your wife gets a good job opportunity in the Bay Area, you don't have a reason like I have to go to auditions. No, I don't. Because I was taking care of my son, and so there were various times at which I wanted to get back into working because I thought the family situation was in the right place where I could do that, and one thing after another came up. So finally, around end of 20, beginning of 21, the time felt right again, and nothing came up. So I started looking into it, and I realized that I didn't have the time to go. I still didn't have the bandwidth with what I was doing for my family to disappear on a moment's or 10 hours notice and then you're on set for 18-hour days, or rehearsing all night long and then doing shows all night long down in Chicago because we were here by that time. But I don't actually remember how I found out about it. Maybe a friend suggested it. I honestly don't remember.
You
might
just
kind of showed up and here you are. And
you might be the only voice actor I know of who doesn't like have their, got ooze poured on them moment or whatever it is, where they're like, I've become it.
But I knew I wanted to get back to be back in the storytelling space. And I remember it feeling like an inspired idea. I just don't remember where it came from. So yeah, go figure. I was shy as a kid. When I was a kid, I didn't want to be on stage because I had a really, my inner life was very, I had a lot of turmoil, a lot of things going on in my inner life. And I felt like to expose that was, oh my God, and I remember when I was in junior high, I was forced to be in a stage production, and I hid out by the school that I was in. And I hid out. I hid out.
Was it a punishment?
No, it was just everybody had to do it.
Oh.
It was like a thing. You had to do it. And I hid out, and I got detention for hiding out and skipping it. So I wound up doing it. And then it wasn't until I was in college, and I had totally changed somehow. And
got laid.
I don't know why I'm blushing at that.
Actually, I don't know why I said that. I normally don't say shit like
that.
that.
That just came out of nowhere, man. That was, okay. I mean, it was a good pull.
Yeah.
You're laughing at Mitch?
No idea. No, I'm probably blushing. Okay.
He's like, no, I'm still a virgin. Joke's on you, Mitch.
It would be, yeah.
What happened?
Right?
Thanks for putting it up. It's a story.
My wife keeps telling me someday.
Yeah. Sun came out of nowhere.
Someday
You're a really good boy. You'll get a special treat.
Oh, somehow that's grosser.
Yeah, it got weird real quick. Oh,
Fortunately.
So anyway, let's ring it. Let's bring it back in. So it's 2021. You're trying to figure out. All right, I want to get back into performing somehow. It's COVID's happening. You're now in Chicago, a brand new city. You can't remember how or why, but at some point you did some research and figured out how to do the voiceover thing. I know you've been with GVAA for a long time. Was that like your first real coaching thing? Or
no. I found GVAA through Paul Vinger. I remember I had just started trying to figure the thing out, like how do you get into this thing? And I said, well, I guess one of the things you need is a microphone and you need headphones and all that stuff, right? So one of the things I did was just start listening to people talk about gear. And he was being interviewed, and I thought, he's kind of an interesting dude. He's got an interesting perspective. I'm going to give him a call. So I gave him a call, and I coached with him a little bit, and then he sent me to Dave Rosenthal over at GVA, and that's how I got GVAA.
Quick turnover. Yeah.
Yeah.
I wasn't an idiot. I worked with them for a while, but
okay. Yeah.
He said, I can't work with this.
Yeah, this guy, he needs Rosenthal.
He needs a group of people to help him out. Yeah.
That's right. He needs a team. He really needs a team. It's a case.
So then you come off of stage. You've been a stage performer most of your life, your adult life, right? You come in and you get into voiceover, and as we kind of talked about in the beginning of the show, you kind of specialize in the dry stuff. What genres do you work most in?
As a voice actor?
Yeah.
I think where I've seen the most success. Actually, I was really proud of these commercials I did. The Chamber of Commerce client was a local casino around here, and I was their voice for a little while. And I fully produced all their commercials, and that was actually pretty cool. I enjoyed that. So like, they would give me a bed of music, and I had to do all the ducking and all the sound production. That was learning trial by fire. And then I think where I sort of get the most success, I've had some really good responses to my commercial editions, but where I get the most is, not ironically, is in the storytelling stuff, audio dramas, audio books, and if you're doing a commercial, it'd be like a character based
Okay.
for some a character. So, like, I definitely you may think I do like medical and dry stuff, but I like that stuff, but I also like doing character stuff as well. And
I just didn't see you practice that a lot, is all.
yeah, like every once in a while I'll bring in something different, like in a workout, and somebody's like, "Oh, Paul, it's a side of you I've never seen before."
Yeah.
It's there.
Well, I mean,
When I see you get wacky, it's fun.
hearing you tell your story, and the fact that you've spent more time of your life as an actual working actor than like most people we've had on the show, but you carry yourself very well, put together, kind of low key and everything, and so you have, and don't take this the wrong way, but you have kind of a bookish quality about you. Where I mean, that you're you're very well spoken, and I haven't seen that wackiness, so I'm looking forward. Hey, yeah, foreshadowing. Stick around to the end because we're gonna get him to goof off. So
I don't know where it comes from, man. The bookish quality. I mean, maybe it was the fact that I thought this going back to the college thing. I thought I was going to be like an academic, basically. Like I wanted to double major in physics and philosophy, and I don't know what the hell I was going to do with it. But I was like, in my family when I was growing up, I was the serious one, the student, and my sister was the wild child. She was, the crazy kid and the artistic one who went to art school and was crazy. And, I think those roles that you get, they kind of pigeonhole you, obviously, and they can tend to define you, and they can sort of maybe that's where it came from, because it sort of sets your persona a little bit, and then but then there's hopefully you find out if there's more that you have in there, then it finds a way to come out, and so that's actually one of the reasons I love doing improv, because. I don't know if you see you've got your Timprov thing up there. Tim is awesome.
yep.
I've done the Timprovs at GVAA, and I do improv every Monday for, I don't know, 3 or 4 years now.
Wow.
With Improv.
That's to let it all out, let it all hang out, so to speak.
Yeah, man. I mean, it's just sometimes it all hangs out. And sometimes it's simple, but what I love about it is that it's not planned. It's just whatever happens, and it really frees up that. And I feel like I'm setting myself up to choke like a motherfucker when we work later.
We all do. There's a choking point.
But yeah, anyhow, so yeah, but I do have that quality, I know, and that's one of the things. That and my sort of stage habits were things that I had to work to overcome as a voice actor, or to grow beyond as a voice actor, because, I mean, we're just talking to somebody right here, right? You don't have to you don't have to speak to the back of the theater.
Yeah. I've heard that tell before too, as well, from, the transition from stage actors to voice acting is part of the learning curve is figuring out that you do not have to project to the back of the room.
Yeah. And it's not just vocal, it's not just volume, but it's emotional projection.
Yeah. Yeah. Because you have to be big on stage for people in the back of the room to be able to see what you're feeling.
Yeah.
And that works for animation and stuff like that. But I mean, when you're doing a commercial read, you can't, there's got to be a subtle, not tremendously subtle, but subtle enough to where you're not over the top. There's a realness to it that you don't, there's a little bit more than realness on stage a lot, I think. Right.
I mean, yeah, I think that's true. And it's just something I've struggled with it for a really long time. I found it, a challenge to overcome that. And then also just the idea that I'm talking into a mechanical thing, and all of the commercials that you hear on TV and on the radio, it sets up some ideas about how things are supposed to sound, and then that's
yeah.
a idea that you have to learn how to move beyond. But when you work with the right coaches and hang out with the right dudes and the right ladies, and then you learn.
Where the ladies at?
Yeah. Well, I have a question.
Yeah, man.
Where do you find yourself now along that path? Because when I was first starting, I had to learn all the acting and the gear, and I needed to get everything in its precise box before I did certain things, and I had to check certain boxes. And some of my friends are like, I just made my own demo and started auditioning right away, and I started getting gigs. And some people are like, I'm moving to L.A., and I haven't even cut a demo yet.
Yeah.
Everyone's on their own wild, wacky journey. Since 2021, like, how is this faring? What are you finding in the VO world?
You froze up for a second there. Can you say that again?
Oh,
yeah.
Both
of you did.
How is this?
Probably on your
how
end.
is this faring, and how are you finding yourself since 2021 in the VO world? It seems, well, it's hard for me.
It's hard for me too.
It's a hard run.
It's tough. I think I'm very earnest about trying to be good at it. And so that can make it feel harder sometimes because, sometimes you need to let go of that when you get behind the mic, right? Like you do the work, like it's just like prepping a script. You prep the script and then you just trust yourself that you got it. And so where do I find myself? I find myself celebrating the wins when I get them, and then having moments. I have moments where I have fewer moments where I think I'm just no good anymore. But
That's
I
good.
Can't wait to get to that point, man.
And I think sometimes getting decent feedback, from auditions and booking the occasional thing helps with that. And then there's also just, when you work with enough good coaches, you begin to get a feel for when you're doing something that's performative or phony, you just know it a little bit better, and so you get a little bit of a better feel for that. And then when you're not doing that, sometimes there's a form of confidence that just comes with knowing that you're not doing that, even if you're not getting the results. If you're not getting booked or whatever.
You're still being yourself.
Yeah, man. And then so there's a kind of trust in where things are headed that comes with that.
I slipped into that today during an audition.
Tell me about it,
I
man.
was doing an audition, and then I was like, let's give that another shot. And
Yeah.
I'm like, oh, fuck, I'm being me. Like, as soon as I started talking, the second version, I'm like, I'm me. It's me. I got so excited. I think I screwed it up, but I figured out what that sounded like in that moment where before I was like, oh, that was I don't know who that was before.
There's a moment. I'm sorry. Go ahead, Mike.
No, I was just gonna say, yeah. I mean, those are weird moments when you do a recording and then you're like, yeah, no, and then you record it again. You're like, yeah, who was that guy that did the first one? Because I don't know that guy. Yeah. I don't know where that came from. But the second take was so much better.
Hey, you like burgers? Like, who's this guy?
You like boys?
Yeah.
I got boy.
Can I interest you in it? No.
Interest you in a? Oh man, you almost had me doing a wimpy. I'll dig it. What is he? What's his line? But today for something.
I'll gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
Yeah, there was this phase I went through where I was just telling myself, speak in your own voice. Speak in your own voice, Paul. Come on.
It is nice.
It is nice. Good when you do that.
Yeah.
Well, and do you find? I mean, you do have a very conversational voice. You do have a very nice tone, even delivery, and everything. Mitch and I feel like are a little more quirky in our normal talking. We've talked about this before on the show, where it's like conversational, and we talked about this with Nate Beagle a couple weeks ago, where it's like, yeah, conversational. Well, this is me talking normally. How do you get conversational when you're just manic all the time? sound natural. Well, this
That was-
is me natural.
That was
You know?
funny. Yeah.
So it does get difficult to find that part of you that is a little more subdued, but is still you, or me, I should say.
You know what's one of the things that I struggle with is like, you know, there are so many different ways that you can have a conversation with somebody.
Yeah.
So and so one of the things you sometimes struggle with is the idea that there's a conversational sound, right? I don't know. Do you guys think there's a conversational sound? I don't think so.
No.
And that's where, again, I think, come to the point where when it says, conversational, natural, things like that, I'm like, all right, I'm just going to be me. And if it's a little more than what they want, then so be it. I still need to put me in the read. And I may not be as subtle as they want me to be, but I can do stuff like that. There are times where, like, I was just looking at an audition right before we started recording, and it kind of calls for that, older voice of reason, and I can do that. But, when it's just pretty bass, I'll go a little bit more than I think they probably want. And, it hasn't paid off yet.
All of a sudden, I'm
someday
Mike
someone's
Batman.
really going to like me for me, and that'll be cool.
I like you for you, Mike.
Thanks, man.
Yeah.
You going to hire me?
One of us.
See, that's...
Why not? I did actually have the opportunity to recommend a few people for a job that actually my sister was producing a full cast audiobook.
Oh,
So
Those
it
are
was-
fun.
yeah.
Yeah, it was a blast. She put me to work, man. I think I played like 8 characters in that thing.
Ah, that sounds great.
It was fun. It was fun.
Yeah. I feel like you are set up for that after doing some stage work, and I don't know why. Somehow that maybe improv sets you up a little bit for that too, to try to put yourself.
A lot. Yeah. I feel like, all the stage work, what it gave me is a sense of different characters living inside, right? And of a sense of connection to my emotional space, a sense of that being accessible to me, and being able to draw on it. And then just sort of figuring out how to do that in this space was the journey. And
Different. Not
Not
as
over.
much movement, that's for sure.
Yeah.
yeah, I mean, you can't stride across the stage, but actually that was one of the big things, was realizing that I can move around a little bit here, like, yeah, you don't just stand and deliver, you
Yeah.
have, this is a movement space with limitations. Obviously, you got to stay on mic. In fact, that was my first audio drama that I did. I was playing the lead in this audio drama, and we were in a room, had 416s, 10 of them in a big circle in a room, and so we were doing live work with our scene partners. And here's my 416, right? And I'm looking at my scene partner, Mitch, you're my scene partner, and we're getting into the scene, and we're really getting into the scene, and leaning in to talk to you. And I was like, "Oops, I forgot."
I could see that happening.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
And definitely a lot of, I don't know why, but
Yeah,
more
and I can
hand
see
gesturing.
that happening more if you're doing something like that where you're with somebody and you are acting and reacting to them, as opposed to being, I mean, not that we can't get off mic when we're in the booth, doing crazy things, but yeah, you told that story and I'm like, oh yeah, that for real could happen.
Yeah. Now, this was not on camera when you were telling us about this, but you had an experience tonight.
yeah.
And I was wondering if you were able to share that with us, because
sure,
I'm
man.
ready for a tear.
Oh,
Well, I was working in Jen Henry's group, her Fun Thrementals group, which is such, dare I say, a sacred space for actors. She creates instant trust and recognition, and she practices what I was just thinking about this earlier. She practices unrelenting empathy. Undeniable empathy. Like, she just hears you and has such empathy with what you're doing, and just acceptance. It's just a beautiful space. And she works unlike any other coach you've ever worked with. It's a really cool space, and I think everybody should check it out. Unless you really need things to be completely logical and laid out in an orderly way and have a process.
Jen is not that.
Yeah, don't bother, or do bother, and maybe you'll find out that they're more than you think you are. But to get to the point of what you were asking about, I did something in my second read, and she said something to me to the effect of, you were playing with your blocks, and you did your thing. You did your thing, and it was beautiful, and I celebrate that. And I don't feel like I'm expressing it poorly, but basically what it was an acceptance of the fact that I was in my space, and I gave what I was giving from my space. And there's still a part of me that wants to work hard to please people and to make people happy and to work hard. I feel like if I'm not working hard to make people happy.
Now each one of us is frozen at least once in this show.
Oh, he's back.
He's
We're
back.
back?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So there's a part of me that feels like if I'm not working hard to reach out and to take care of other people, then I'm not doing enough. And that gets in my way sometimes in performance space. But this was a case where I wasn't doing that at all, and it was accepted and taken in and given back with love, and just in the moment, that was a really powerful thing for me, to be accepted when I was just giving without working hard to give, and that's cool.
How would that reflect itself when you're alone with any with a commercial you're having trouble with, or maybe even something you love but you're overworking on? Like how do you think that could affect that?
It's a 1-to-1, isn't it? It's just, let's see, how would you say this? It's you're taking the pieces that you recognize are there. So maybe you've done your work on the script. You know what the story is. You know why you want to tell it, and why it's important to tell, and then you just go from there. You just allow it to happen. You don't work it. You just do it. And then if you see, another angle that gives you another why, then you just do it. As opposed to trying to manufacture it. I think, does that make sense? That's kind of a one.
It does.
It does, because I feel like I'm the most authentic me when I don't overwork a script.
Yeah.
My worst auditions are when I think about the words too much, and I think about the story too much, and I think about how how they want me to deliver it, and then I just am plastic. So yeah, if I can get into the booth, read something a couple of times, and go, okay, got it, and figure out who I am, who I'm talking to, all of that, and then just go. Those tend to be my best auditions.
I was talking about this. I've been working with Hugh Klitsky lately, who is a fantastic coach. And that's one of the concepts that we've talked about is you do the work, you look at the script, you understand the story, you understand all those things that you need to sort of have grasped about it in order to tell it. And then you trust that you have it from there.
Yeah.
And that was actually something I was working with Dave Walsh some time ago, another fantastic coach. And Dave has a lot of ideas that he presents in his coaching, a sort of a form of a technique, as it were, his True Tell technique.
Yeah.
And for a while there, I was learning it and learning from him and working back and forth with him. and I was a very good boy. Very good boy. I learned the technique, and I was sure to do it every time.
Okay.
And it became about performing the technique as opposed to treating it as a window into finding a moment in which I was communicating. And once I realized that, I think things started to change for the better for me.
But you still use it, just in a different sense.
I use it in order to inform myself what the story is that I'm telling, who I am, and why it's important, and maybe to understand what some of the nuances are. But I don't use it. I don't use it in the moment as part of the communication. At least that's my goal. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yes. What I'm realizing now is I don't know anything, and the more theater people I meet, the more I realize that they are taking this copy apart, whether it's a one line or 2 minutes long, and really digging deep into it, and then recollapsing it and acting, and that could be part of the reason I'm not booking as much, is that I don't know how people can take the time to do that.
Well, and that's my question for you, Paul, is taking that, right? You've been in theater all your life. You've been, all your adult life. You have dissected and figured out characters and figured out scripts for all the work you've done. And then now that translates to VO in a different way with shorter scripts and different things, but you still are experienced in breaking down a script and figuring out who you are within the story of that. That maybe gives you a little bit more advantage, would you say, than people who don't have the the extensive acting background?
Look, man, I don't know. I mean, I think there are some people like Mitch. Maybe when you go in there, man, you just sense all that stuff right off the bat. Who's to say that you don't look at a script and just intuit the stuff that you need to know to get it done? And
sometimes,
the fact is that I'm going to say it. I'm sorry in advance. You're a sensitive dude. You've got sensitivity, right? You can feel things. Like, I can see that in you. At least I think I can. Maybe I'm full of shit. I don't know. But I think I can see it in you.
I try to cover it up the best I can, Paul.
Well, fuck, man.
You're exposed, Mitch. You're exposed.
Once again.
Okay, let's get the clothes up. No.
Not that kind of exposed, Paul.
I've got one
Please,
layer,
for the love
yeah.
of God, not that kind of exposed.
Dude, I was thinking like things were going to get a little crazy here. But
They have a little. I mean,
But yeah, man. So like, I like that stuff. I like if there's a line and it, that has a little twist in it. I like to know what it means. I like to know, where did that moment come from? Like, why am I saying that to that person at that moment? Oh, because there's something else going on. A little twist of the mind. I like that kind of stuff.
So there's a curiosity in you about.
Oh yeah, I'm super
the
curious.
lines and why they're there. Okay.
Yeah, but do I think everybody? Do I prescribe that everyone must think that? I know, man. I'm sure there are people who can. I don't know. Everybody has their way, and if it works and you're telling a story and you like it and it means something to people, then do your thing, man. I mean, who am I to say what the right way is?
yeah. I mean, there's Daniel Day-Lewis and there's like Seth Rogen or whatever. There's different people within the. Yeah, and I bet Daniel Day-Lewis will play Seth Rogen in a biopic one day. But
Man, I would pay to see that.
But I don't. I'm gonna fight back on you on that one, Mitch, because you're like saying like one is here and the other's here.
no, I'm saying they get there a different way.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. They get there. I imagine they get there a completely different way, and that's so exciting for me because the picking the script apart thing. I'm like, fucking, just let me play with it. For Christ's sake, do I have to read more? I got into a job about reading.
Hey, like you don't like you're not like. Yeah, I mean, it can be studious sometimes, but also it can be play. And you were like saying, like, you don't have time for that. But that can all happen in the moment while you're looking at a script. if you see a script that you find something in, or just any script, as long as it's, I mean, I'm talking so fucking big, man. I'm really getting nervous about later now.
No, not
But
at all. I mean, this is good stuff.
in my heart and in my
Yeah.
mind, you don't have to spend a whole ton of time analyzing the script. You can have an eye to you have an eye to it and just a sensitivity to it.
Well, like Mike was saying, you've been doing it so long. I mean, I bet you can kind of look at the layout of it at this point and kind of go, boom, 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 it's poetic in this way, or the sing-song of it this way. I'm sure, there's...
Sometimes
You're
not.
more well-versed in word study than we are. I mean, not that I don't have, I've been doing theater forever, but not nearly as... I haven't done it for a living, and I had long periods where I haven't acted. But I feel like when I look at a script, one of two things happens, and there's really not a whole lot in between. I either immediately go, oh, yeah, I get it. Or I go, well, let me think about it some more. I just don't get it. Right?
Yeah.
If I don't get it immediately, I'm going to have a hard time actually figuring out the who and the what and the where and the when and the why and the how to and all of that. Because it's either, if it doesn't hit me immediately, I'm struggling.
Working with Dave was actually amazing for that, because that man, excuse me, he has an amazing ear for, for, among other things, for bullshit. So if and also a great insight into script, figuring out what's going on in a script. So working with him was amazing. Actually, same thing with Hugh, same thing with Debbie. I've had a string of really great coaches. And Larry Hudson also, just so many great coaches. Dave Rosenthal. But yeah, you just you glean little bits and pieces from each of them in succession. And you learn how you try to learn how they think, and to take all those golden nuggets from what they're giving you, and hopefully some of them stick around.
Yeah, for sure.
We're lucky here on the Mitch and Mike voiceover journey, because we get to talk to people with these nuggets that they bring to the show. I feel like there's been...
It's like free coaching.
Yes. Today will be one of those days I go back into the booth tomorrow and go, what was he saying about? And then I think about it. And a lot of it, comes down to grounding yourself, being present, trusting yourself. I think that's one of the biggest things you said so far. Like, trusting that I have it. I've been doing, we've been doing this a bit. We understand what some of these need, not the ones Mike was talking about.
Yeah.
But, some of these things are more intuitive than we give ourselves credit for.
Yeah. I was talking about that with Hugh in a coaching session. When was it? Last week, I think. And we're talking about, at a certain point, once you have looked at the script and you understand what the story is, why it's important, and other things, then you do it and you listen back or you think back, and then you just know whether you gave it what it needed or not, and you make your adjustment. You don't have to continually, what do you call it? Soul search, navel gaze. Just at a certain point, you know whether you gave it what it needed, and you just change it. And then you trust that you've done the work. And then go back to my work with Dave, and sometimes you say, like, well, did I really, was that lead in really pertinent to what comes next? If I was talking to somebody, was that really the right person to talk to? Sometimes you go back and think about that stuff again, because that's one of the things that I really learned from talking with Dave was the specificity of the choices that you make, whether it's really applicable. There was a script I was working on today, and it was talking to somebody who they were going to fix up their house, and I had picked the wrong person originally to talk to, and I was like, oh, that just doesn't feel quite right, And it wasn't like, and it wasn't analysis. It was just like the feel was off, and I was like, wait a minute, who do I know that really needs to fix up their house and wants to do it on a budget? And then I found the right person from there.
Okay. Specificity.
Yeah.
I've heard that a lot lately.
Have you? What do you think about that? Like, do you buy
makes sense.
that?
I just want to get into I have this, and when I give myself that time, it does feel more real, and I do feel like I'm more there and grounded. And there's sometimes when, if I overthink it, I'm like, I need to leave now. Like,
Yeah.
I've now done too much. So
Yeah. So you like to get in and you like to intuit it and feel it, right?
yeah, I'm the master of chaos, dude. I don't know what the heck's going on from day to day. I might walk in here and realize that everything I've gotten in is not for me. And then the next day I'm like, I could do an audiobook. I don't know what my problem is.
Why are you hesitant to do audiobooks?
Not my thing. But
Not your.
we're
Yeah,
not gonna
long
talk
form
about
scares the crap out of me.
Yeah.
I mean, I
Mostly
feel like
'cause
I
I
could do
suck
an
at it.
ensemble thing like you've done, but if you said, Mike, you have to read these 57,000 pages, just you, and go, I would get about 7 paragraphs in and forget how to talk.
Huh.
I'd get about 7 words in and start fumbling with that one sentence until I don't know,
Yeah,
freak out.
but that's just us.
Yeah, that's us. You, Paul.
I do have one final question for you, Paul,
Yeah.
before we get to where we're having some fun. And it's different than what we normally do. A lot of times I will throw that question out that's like, what's the one thing that you want to do? I'm more interested in something that I've never asked anyone before.
Oh.
I want to go back to your New York stage acting days, and I want to find out what's your favorite stage role that you've ever played,
And why?
and why, and who, and how, and to what extent.
Yeah. And who'd you get to punch?
Oh gosh, there's so many. The one that comes to mind first was I was playing. What the heck was it? It was a stage production of Antigone, the Greek tragedy, and I think I was playing Eteocles, and it was for this, and it was for this theater company. They would do stuff outdoors in Manhattan, and we'd go to different parks and perform in the live. And so it was very movement based. There was a lot of drumming. There were huge fight scenes. I think I killed a gazillion people in this show.
There you go, Mitch. He did get to punch
I
somebody.
knew it was going to happen.
There's a lot of stabbing. Yeah. And it was very movement based, because I have a dance background as well, so I get to really explore that. There was just one night. There was one night where Janine Garofalo came and saw the show, and then the next day we heard that she'd gone and totally ranked on the show in her set that night. But there was where there was just a group of people. And this is the magic of live theater. There was a group of people in the audience. I think they were all there together. It was a big group. And they were locked in with the show. And everything that happened on stage, they were feeling. And they were giving that back to us. And we're giving it back to them. And that was a really cool moment. I don't know if it was my moment of all time, but that was a cool moment that stays with me.
You were locked in.
We were locked in. We were...
I
Very
love
cool.
that.
Well, I used to like to do, some stage things when I was younger, but now I don't have the memory for it anymore. I can't memorize lines. That's why I'm a voice actor, because I can just look at the lines and read them.
I don't know whether to believe you or not.
Trust me, I can't. I can barely remember your name, Jeff. Anyway, what do you say we play around, huh?
Yeah, man, let's do it.
I'm ready.
Yay! All right, let's do it. Oh, this one's so important. We all stood up.
Tomorrow, pig-faced citizens of Padua, The bells do ring, the goats do cough, the baker hath fallen in his own ravioli cart. A glorious day for vengeance and for soup.
Peace, cousin. Thou dost speak like boiled cabbage, given a tongue and slapped across the face. Why art thou armed with 17 daggers,
Breakfast stabbings.
Breakfast stabbings?
Aye, the morning air in Padua grows so sweet, one must perforate a man from gratitude.
No, enter not the alley by St. Onion's Well. 3 brothers there do challenge passers-by to contests of philosophy and stabbing.
Which cometh first?
Depends on the mood.
Padua remains a paradise. Last night, mine uncle Guido stabbed a priest for saying pears were superior to figs.
And who prevailed?
Oh, the pears.
I myself was nearly murdered by musicians. A lute player accused me of seducing his mother with interpretive coughing.
Didst thou?
Only twice.
Look yonder. Here approaches Aunt Fabrizia, whose bosom hides more knives than common drawers.
She once stabbed 7 men at bingo.
Oh, nay, 8. One merely died the following afternoon.
Oh, sweet Padua, where friendship blooms like mold upon forgotten meats beside the river. Here, families gather close with wine and threats. Here, cousins kiss and then attempt disembowelment.
'Tis true. Ah, mine own dear father says each hug should end with someone shouting, "Guard thy spleen!"
A noble custom.
Hark, what commotion comes?
The butcher's son pursues the town astrologer with sharpened spatula and screaming geese.
But why doth he rage?
The stars foretold his mustache would betray him.
And did it?
Aye, it fled with a lute player.
This city grows too civilized for me.
Come, friends, come. Let us to the tavern go. Mine brother waits there with medicinal eels and fresh opinions concerning ankle stabbing.
I love thy brother dearly.
As do I. As do I. Though last week he did attempt to carve my name into a turkey, whilst I still wore it.
Affection takes strange shapes in Padua.
Like Uncle Petro, who communicates entirely through aggressive tambourines.
Grandma, who keeps wolves beneath her bed and claims they are exchange students from France.
Come, let us feast. Come on, let sausages be flung.
Yes,
Let every
fling
wine
thy
cup
sausages.
overflow with menace. Tonight we dance. Tonight we sing rude songs. Tonight we settle ancient family disputes with 6-inch blades and impeccable manners.
If any man here dies before dessert, I call his boots.
And I call his chair.
Aha! And I his olives.
Ooh,
That all makes sense.
thus rolls the merry wheel of Padua.
Padua. Perfect syncing. Amazing. We have now done Shakespeare. Or Chatspeare. On the Mitch and Mike's
on
voiceover
stage.
journey podcast.
Chatspeare, that's another option. Not
Hey.
ChatGPT. Oh my gosh.
Oh, is that actually a thing?
No, but now we can call it something else if it's not ChatGPT roulette, it's Chatspeare.
Chatspeare. We will do Chatspeare.
Yeah.
Going forth, we shall do Chatspeare on Mitch and Mike's voiceover journey.
Thank you, Paul, for making this happen.
Yeah.
Oh, guys, that was fun. That was fun. And it was an iambic pentameter after all.
Was it?
East, let sausages be flung.
I
Let
was
every
not counting syllables.
menace. What?
I was not counting syllables.
Is that how you do it?
Yeah. Ba-dum, 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 ba-dum. That's the basic meter
Oh.
of iambic pentameter. But you know, then you just have fun with it like we did.
Okay.
The more you know.
Gosh.
All right. Well, I sure had super amounts of fun with you, Paul. Thanks. Good to
Same
get
here,
to
right
know you
back.
a little bit better.
Yeah.
And hopefully all our listeners agree. And
If
just,
not, fuck them. I mean,
there you go.
I mean, you guys are cool. You guys are cool too.
Yeah, we
Partner
still
next
like you,
time.
but you know what Mitch said.
That's something Stitch would say.
All right. On that note,
Oh no, he's gonna have to cut it out.
nah,
All right.
I'm not the one that edits this anymore. You
Oh
do.
hell yeah, I
So,
can say whatever I want.
yeah, keep it in. I mean, that's you.
That's me.
All right. With that,
Yeah. It was fun. It was great to hang out with you guys.
yes, truly fun, Paul. Thank
was
you so
awesome.
much for joining us.
My pleasure.
And now we say goodbye.
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 Goodbye. Love you.